So, are you tired of PvE metas failing? Do you want to run some of these meta events yourself for fun? Allow me to introduce you to the command attack and a small guide to PvE metas. Even though most world bosses and metas require a little coordination, Guild Wars 2 still has a lot of metas and world bosses that can be improved by either having a commander on the map or have somebody explain what's actually going on. For example, Dragon's End, Dragonfall, Triple Trouble, Chuck, Octavine, and the recently added Seekers of the Wild. Recently I bought myself a tag and it was an absolute game changer for PvE. Events that are slightly harder than killing a loot piñata, as in what is most Tyria core world bosses. I had more fun running these meta events myself than just being a part of them. And you can also buy the command attack for the low price of only 300 gold. Yeah, it's expensive. You can buy it at this vendor in the internal battlegrounds. And recently we noticed an influx of newer players all around Guild Wars 2. Some of you might have noticed it for a while now, and you have just joined and are having a lot of fun doing all these meta events across Tyria, Kastora and Kenta. Some of the new players might have some MMO experience since the last gutting of New World. And some people might be discontent with the current course of World of Warcraft. And some may just be brand new to the game. They just hit level 80 and they just bought the expansions and are now running wild on Guild Wars. Well, this means that there are a lot of newer players around in mob metas that can use a little help with guiding them through the events. And if you enjoy doing that, then this video is going to explain the basics of leading and organizing squads. First up, if you don't know anything about a meta but you still want to try and run it, the wiki is going to be your friend. It explains a lot of that's going on in these meta events, and you can do the meta a few times while checking the wiki to see what's going to happen, make some notes, and then just create a log of whatever's going on and what you should be able to call out and stuff like that, and use it as a cheat sheet for when you actually start running the meta yourself. So how does a squad usually look? When you create a squad, people can join and they are usually just being put into one subgroup, which is going to look like this. It's gonna be fine for most of the world bosses, but it's kinda hard to see what's going on and who's providing what kind of boon. So this is the system that is mostly used for people to organize squads, and it basically just breaks up everybody into subgroups of 5. And those subgroups of 5 then provide alacrity and quickness, and may provide a healer as well, depending on whichever meta is being run. If the meta does more damage and people are going to have a hard time if there are no healers present, then there should be a healer. And if that is not the case and it's just a plain DPS check, but there's a lot of DPS that is necessary, then you can provide quickness and alacrity in one sub. There's also some jargon based on how groups are looking at the LFG, the looking for group tab. And you usually see stuff like the timers, which is XX and then 30, which would mean that it would start at half a something clock past the current hour. Or it can be the other way around. You can see 12 and then XX, which means it started 12 o'clock and stuff like that. It can also request some kind of damage or healing, like A DPS A heal, which basically means a healer or DPS that gives alacrity boons. Same goes for Q DPS and Q heal, which is quickness DPS and a quickness healer. B DPS and B heal is boon providing, which is might, fury, stability, resistance. That can be anything. You don't see them that often if you do PvE metas. C DPS is condition DPS, but that's usually only for raids whenever a boss can only be hit by condition damage, for example. So that's not really that important for PvE. There's also the dot and then 3 numbers. That's just basically the last 3 digits of the map IP. I wouldn't be looking into that at this point because that's just way too much for the metas you're probably going to run. A sub just means a different subgroup among those things. I'm going to show you in a second how that looks. CC basically means crowd control. Break the light blue bar that is underneath the health bar of the boss or the mobs. CM is challenge mode. That's usually for strikes and raids. It's just in convergence. It's just a harder difficulty, and if you're going to do PvE, you're not going to see this a lot. And KP usually means kill proof, and some people might ask you to show kill proof for a certain raid or strike mission, for example Bone Skinner, and people might say something like 250 KP. That means you need to have kill proof that you killed the boss a certain amount of times and you know the mechanics. That's the basic rundown of everything that you're probably gonna see when you're putting a group either up on the LFG or finding a group on the LFG. So how does it actually look when you put up a group on the LFG? If you go up into the tab of contacts and LFG, shortcut is Y, and you go into the second tab, you can see all kinds of maps that are available, and you can see all kinds of groups that are doing all kinds of things actually. I mean, jumping puzzles, riftings, there may be some meta events, but I don't know if there are any currently going on. You can also put up your own group, which we are going to do. So if we're going to Starlit Wield and we are going to advertise our group, we can enter anything that we just learned on how it works. So let's say we do a meta event that is at 40, we put it in like XX40, and then we ask people to bring ADPS because we need alacrity, so ADPS or A heal, or quickness, for example. So we say Q DPS or Q heal, and then we can just advertise that group, and then it will be put up on the LFG for everybody to see. So when you are creating a squad of your own, you can, if you have the commander tag of course, you can create a squad. I'm putting it to private so nobody joins. You can edit the squad message, and that's just basically a message that everybody is going to see whenever they are joining your squad. So you can put in stuff like how people need to sort themselves into subs, for example, for this meta and stuff like that. So if we tell people to place themselves in an empty sub if they provide alacrity, and place themselves into a sub with one person if they provide quickness, and let's say that the DPS will fill whenever the squads through 2 to 11 are filled up with alacrity and quickness. Then we can put in that message with accept, and everybody that will join will see that message pop up in the bottom, so they know what to do at that point. You can also broadcast messages to people, which if you want what's down below to be put up on the screen for everybody to see, you can type a broadcast message in this small bar at the top left, and then you can talk to everybody, but nobody hears me because nobody's there. But there's also a faster way to do this, which is whenever you have a piece of text and you want to talk to them, as you can see as I did right now. So let's say we type in some quick call out we need to do, or we have that on a cheat sheet, so we copied it before. Then we can copy that and hit shift and enter at the same time, so we can immediately send that message to the entire squad. So shift enter, Control V enter, and there we go. It's now for everybody to see. So how does it actually look when your subs are organized? Well, it looks something like this. As you can see on the side, everybody has 5 people in their subs, and they all provide alacrity. I only requested alacrity for this one, so everybody has an alacrity provider inside of their subgroups, and that makes it way easier to organize than when you have your entire party inside of one sub. You can just drag people into subs, or they can drag themselves if you don't lock the subs inside of the settings for your squad. And if you need to make callouts or stuff like that, I told everybody to from 2 to 4 to go to the arrow, and 5 to 8 to go to something else, and 9, 10, 11 to go to something else. So when you have a linked HP event like this one, as you can see, South is already getting pretty far ahead, and that's because of that there are 3 things and there are 50 people, so there's no equal split possible at this point. So I'm gonna request 3 from sub 11 that are on south go to north at this point, and then I just put it in the broadcast message. And as you can see in the chat, in a few seconds, people will actually respond to your call outs and move according to what you are asking them to do, because they also don't want the event to fail. So 2 people are coming to the north side, so we can distribute the damage a little bit better at this point. So don't worry about your own DPS or your own healing at this point. Take a look at the side on how things are going at this point and just make call outs, because people will respond and will help you. And one important thing is to remember that if you're running a pub, just call out everything. As you can see, the game calls you out to, when you're a bunny, to jump through the orbs. I'm still going to tell everybody to be a bunny and jump around and collect those orbs in order to get to the second stage. There's always going to be some people that are going to miss the initial message, or they are not paying attention, or they simply just don't know what's going on. And in this next part, as you can see, the CC bar is coming up and I see it's not going down, so I'm going to tell everybody to CC and trying to break that CC bar just a little bit quicker. When the new phase comes, I'm just going to tell everybody what to do, move some subs to different places, tell them to use the war claws for breaking the CC bars, and to top around to find the actual quill that the CC bar needs to be destroyed. And people will be afraid for doing this because they might get a response like we're not idiots or something like that, but that's never the case. I never had that in a single time that I run any event, and I run them all like this, and people will actually appreciate you for telling them what they need to do and to help them around. And as you can see in chat, people really do appreciate it when you help them and guide them through what is a hard meta or a normal meta with some stuff going on and stuff like that. And as you can see, there are actually a lot of people that are very thankful for me just explaining stuff like that, and yeah, that can help a lot. So this was my first time leading the Mothman event, and well, everybody was really thankful that I explained everything, and they are just really happy that the event actually succeeded. So just keep that in mind when you're running pub groups. Just help people, just talk a lot, just make a lot of call outs. It's gonna help in the long run. So yeah, that's basically it. I think we covered every basic across how to put up your squad, how to make the squad message, how to broadcast message, how to broadcast them quickly, and everything that's related to callouts, and just trying to guide and help people of your pub or your squad into the right lines in order for the event to succeed. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a good one, and who knows, maybe I'll see you running the next big meta event. Have fun.